Sometimes you just need to feel the fear and do it anyway. Orion in the Dark is a Netflix original based on the book by Emma Yarlett. This is directed by Sean Sharmetz, who's done art department work and storyboard work for other projects. Check out his IMDb page for the full list of his work. This was written by Charlie Kaufman, who has written a lot of movies in his career, including Being John Malkovich. Boy, Being John Malkovich was certainly fucked up. Speaking of fucked up, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind was another movie that Charlie Kaufman wrote. That movie is 20 years old this year. I need to go back and revisit that and see, was it really good or was it just really weird and I thought that weird meant good? But weird does sometimes mean good, like evil means good. I believe that was in Vampire in Brooklyn. This has nothing to do with Vampire in Brooklyn. Charlie Kaufman also wrote, I'm Thinking of Ending Things. That's a trio, by the way, that's 3, for those of you who aren't fucking math majors, of films where a lot of fucked up shit's going on, a lot of anxieties, a lot of crazy things, a lot of stuff that adults go through and people go through throughout their lives. And speaking of which, that brings us to Orion in the Dark. But first, additional material according to IMDb. What is additional material anyway? What is additional dialogue anyway? Oh, stuff like, hey you, get off that, and why not? Horror at Party Beach, horror at Public Beach, crappy movie parking here. Had nothing to do with MST3K. Let's get back to Orion in the Dark. Hoyt Taylor and Brandon Sawyer, not to be confused with Buzz Sawyer, because Brandon Sawyer's career is alive and well. Buzz Sawyer has been dead for a number of years. Yeah, Buzz Sawyer. Boy, that guy was nuts. If you're not a wrestling fan, you have no fucking idea who I'm talking about. So, this focuses on a young boy named Orion, voiced by Jacob Tremblay, who was in Before I Wake. Remember that really stupid movie about a boy that had dreams that came to life? It was really fucking dumb. Yeah, he was in that. So he voices Orion, a boy that's going through a lot of shit. Even though he has loving parents, and yeah, he has the usual stuff he's going through at school. There's a bully, but he has a lot of fears. He keeps these fears in a storybook. And he's always worried about these fears coming to life, like a murderous clown. We're getting an It reference here. He doesn't even want to talk to girls, like, a girl that could potentially become his childhood sweetheart. He can't even talk to her. And he's also really fearful of the dark. Gee, in a movie called Orion in the Dark, it's so goddamn weird. And then Dark shows up, sick of the fact that Orion is scared of him, and so many other people are scared of him. Dark, voiced by Paul Walter Hauser, says, I'm going to take you on a journey for 24 hours and show you there is nothing to fear but fear itself. He doesn't actually say that, but he might as well have. Let's prove the dark isn't all that scary, and from there we get a journey, and we see other, things that lead to the dark being necessary, because there's no dark without light. There's no way to carry on, my wayward son. There's no way to be, sleeping until you're done, until insomnia will keep you awake for forevermore. No, this isn't in Kansas, even though that would have been funny. That's like the one good Kansas song, by the way, and it was ruined by a particular trio in All Elite Wrestling. Again, if you're not a wrestling fan, you have no idea what I'm talking about. So, there are other voice actors in this, obviously. There would have to be. Colin Hanks provides a voice here, too. We get Mia Akemi Brown. His name sounds familiar, but I couldn't quite place what project I've seen her in. Carla Gugino is in this. Also, Angela Bassett, who is in her 60s. Werner Herzog has a brief cameo in this. Anyway, pretty decent voice cast, and I do want to say that before I dive into anything as far as storyline specifics, this actually has some beautiful animation and actually is a well-told story. Even though it's aimed at children, it has a Y7 rating. While it does have stuff that kids can confront, it also does have some themes that adults tried to push away from when they were kids, and some of these themes carry on into their adult life. It's a nice mixture of themes here, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. It has a runtime of about 92 minutes, and 11 of those are credits, so it does at least wrap up its story, in a nice, tight time. But, that being said, Orion in the Dark is actually kind of good. It's not great, but it's kind of good. It's definitely a cut above some of the animated movies that I've seen in the last number of years, and it proves that when Netflix tries, they actually can come up with some pretty decent and actually, philosophical themes for their animated movies. I did like the storyboard arc. Bork arc. It's Bork Laser doing the art. Now, storyboard art that was actually kind of cool. And the way Dark looks and all the stuff and dealing with the other, factors that bring the darkness to light, so to speak, or make darkness happen. Sleep, sweet dreams, quiet, loud noises, various things that can either help you sleep well or keep you awake, and insomnia, a little bug, kind of like the Great Kazoo. If the Great Kazoo was on about 8 million milligrams of caffeine. Yeah, it's decent. I will say there are some complaints. I think the story's a bit disjointed. I get why they went with a particular tonal shift about 20 to 30 minutes in. But I do want to say the only real complaint I have that puts a damper on this is the third act. I felt that it got a little messy after a pretty decent setup and actually pretty good stuff. It makes some sense as to why they went that particular route, but it does end up being a little bit messy, and I feel it really stumbles in the third act. And I also feel the dream aspect works, and it also felt kind of like a cop-out. And even though I get why they were going with it, I felt like it was a little bit uneven. That being said, well done, Netflix original. Pretty good. Not great. Not one of the best films of the year, but certainly a surprise, because based on the poster, I was like, this looks okay. It actually turned out to have some pretty good punch to it. It just that those punches stopped landing in the aforementioned third act. But it doesn't overstay its welcome, that is. So it's on Netflix. You want to check it out? Getting in spoilers. 3, 2, 1, spoilers. There we go. We're getting into spoilers now. So yeah, there's a confrontation with a boy named Richie, who's a bully. And he also likes a girl named Sally, not Mustang Sally, because if she was a kid driving a Mustang, I would have several questions about the validity of this particular state and its driving laws. The parents try to give him some advice. The trick is to not let your fear get in the way of living your life. And Orion has a chance to go to a planetarium. Sally even suggests them sitting next to each other, but he's still so filled with anxiety. I did like the setup of the story book, the drawing book and everything. Take a look, it's in the book, and Orion and the Dark Rainbow. The title was 11 minutes in. I don't know why movies feel the need to do that. That was a bit weird. The fear of the dark, I can identify with that, because even though I love horror movies, I have always had a strange fear of the dark. That's why I shouldn't watch horror movies the night before I go to sleep. But I never learn. I never fucking learn. So yeah, Dark shows up to help him overcome his fear. I will say that Paul Walter Hauser does a good job as the voice of Dark. And come with Dark for one night, just one night, uno noche. And then the tonal shift happens where we smash to adult Orion, voiced by Colin Hanks. Never understood why Colin Hanks doesn't have a lengthier career. Because I don't think that Colin Hanks is a problematic one of the Hanks brethren, but nevertheless, he's telling his daughter Hypatia, "Hey, you could add to this dream. I'm telling you this dream, and yes, the dream is passed along from generation to generation, and generations help out with these dreams and all this. It's all intermingled, and it would be kind of sweet, except it's a little bit jumbled. It's a little bit absolutely jumbled. The animation is nice." And then he tells about how he kind of ended up fucking up things with Dark. The insomnia, sleep, quiet. I kind of like quiet as a little cute, like pussy willow fuzzy thing. Unexpected noises, sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? And Dark could be doing this for his own ego, just basically justify himself, because he feels, people love light so much and they're scared so much of dark. We're scared of the unknown, unable to see everything, all-encompassing dark. I did kind of like how sleep was putting people to sleep with a magic pillow to smother them, or magic chloroform, or a sleep hammer. Why don't you call my name? I don't know why. That made me laugh. That's when it leaned into the bullshit that I didn't mind. Insomnia, I mean, we've all had insomnia. The little voices inside your head, the tape collections being slammed into your ear to see what what, like, memories you'll dredge up. What stuff you said in 4th grade you didn't tell that girl, that guy, or that non-binary that you really like. You didn't tell them what you should have, or you told them the wrong thing, and now it's just haunted you forever, even though we all have reasons as to why dating never works out. It's okay to be single, guys. It's okay. So, nights into dreams, we keep going with, the various characters doing their thing. And if you die in a dream, you die for real. There was one point where they went into a lady's dream where a lady was worried about work presentation, about their daughter wanting to keep a rescue cat. Adopt, don't shop, by the way, just want to say that. That's how I got the producer. If you are a semi-regular viewer of the channel, you will know that I have a cat, a big cat. He's currently hunting now, probably to bring me a gift. I hope not, because it's winter and I'm also tired of him bringing me gifts, but I love cats. That being said, it's... people are worried that the Dark might not have any... the Dark, or let's try that again. Dark is like worried that he might not mean as much, and the Flaming Lips play for some reason. I've never really cared for that band. They're all right. There were some bright, colorful moments. Dark was worried that Orion might actually be trying to push him out to bring light in, even though he's not afraid of dark anymore. And then, basically, by a little bit later, Dark decides, after everybody else has abandoned him, he's just going to sit and he's just going to let Light take him. And Light's like, what are you doing? You probably should get back to where, you can hide so I don't kill you. And, well, I tried to warn you. Also, they were on a giant turtle because this is a dream. They keep smash cutting to the daughter, by the way. The daughter and adult Orion. And then now, there's all this fucked up shit going on where you can't see stars in the night sky. There's a planetarium where you can see the stars, but it's not the same because darkness has been taken. Darkness has been taken away, and now it's just all bright. It's all ridiculous. Like, the beauty of the night has been taken away, basically, and now they have to go into Orion's dreams and get him... to get Dark back, but now his dreams are starting to become nightmares and sucking Dark into this black void that are part of his dreams, so all he really has to do is stop thinking about this stuff. And also his daughter enters his dreams to help him bring Dark back. This is where it stumbles. This is where it stumbles quite a bit. So they bring Dark back. Everything's good. And, I don't know. This just got a little bit ridiculous. The parents wonder what the hell's going on. Why is there a girl in the house? Oh, this is my childhood friend and all this. And obviously Sally ends up being the mother. That's how babies are made, kids, just so you know. And then another kid shows up with a time machine because that's just how we're going to write ourselves out of this. And this time machine kid helps, Hypatia. I'm sorry, this just gets a little bit messy. They end up getting into this time machine, getting rescued, and now, like, adult Orion, he's like, oh, this is how this happens and everything. And it gets messy. It gets me. Granted, it's dreams, it's entertainment, but maybe I shouldn't take it seriously, but I don't know. It got a little bit weird. And then we smash cut to when Orion is a grandpa and Hypatia is a mother herself. And it just keeps going on. Don't stop till the break of dawn. And I mean, yeah, it makes sense about overcoming anxieties, and it has a sweet message. I just think it really stumbles in that third act. So it gets a B. It's entertaining, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it. I just don't think that it was necessarily as good as it could have been. That being said, B. Agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rethlin. I'll see you soon.